Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to finally get started on my Scrappy drawstring bag. Now if you watched my videos over the Easter long weekend, I started working on my bunny panel with these, which is morsels of bits and pieces that I ended up settling on the French General fabric, but this fabric was in the consideration, and in the process of going through my French General scraps left over from Henrik the Hare, this fabric was in amongst it, and I was sort of fiddling around with it all, and I found the panel from French General, this one here, and in the process of putting together the rabbit panel, these things started making a little pile to the side of me for Susanna's bag. Now, originally I really hadn't picked any colours, just maybe bright pinks, greens and things like that. But in the process of creating my bunny panel, this came together. So today we're going to start the project. So I'm just going to bring my camera up a little bit. So the fabric's by Three Sisters. This is the colour palette. These are jelly rolls, which is brilliant because now I don't need to cut fabric into strips. Susanna had gorgeous pieces of fabric that she sliced into strips. Her videos are linked below. She's done it twice. She did it years ago and then revisited it recently and actually released some fabric packs to go with the second version of it, which was pretty much the same pattern. There is no pattern as such. Anyone who's wanting to just buy the pattern, there is no pattern. We just give you the measurements, make a rectangle, grab a circle for the base and follow the steps. It's pretty simple, but it's all about creating the side of the bag on this piece of rectangular fabric that you embellish. It's like creating a big panel of slow stitch that you turn into a bag. So that's the gist of it, and that's where we're going to be today. So these are my fabrics that I'm going to work into it. They're already cut into strips. Gotta love that. What colours we use? Well, see how we go. This fabric is going to be my lining, and I've got a good size piece of it. So that is, if you're wondering, Blackbird Designs. So that's the panel. That'll look so pretty inside. Not too dark too, because there's nothing worse than a bag that you open up and it's dark in there and you just can't see where you're going with it. So Susanna kindly sent me her little pattern that went in with her packs of fabric, and it is just a list of what you need, which was in that pack, plus you get your pins, needles, sewing machine. If you're creating the circular base, her first video she put some cardboard in there to create that little base. Roll forward a couple years and she didn't use the cardboard because it's sort of, I don't know, it worked anyway. She thought, well, don't need the cardboard. So it's lovely how patterns evolve. You know, you try them once and then you go, if I ever do this again, I might try it without. So that always happens. So Susanna has in her shop some packs that she has curated the fabric. So if you like Susanna's style of colours and fabrics and vintage and antique fabrics, head over to Susanna's store. You might be able to buy a pack put together in her tones. If you have plenty of fabrics and you don't need it, well, I guess follow along with me because I'm going to do my version of it. This section in here is all about the circular base. Now, her original pattern, this was the piece of cardboard that sat in here between some fabric, and then the rectangle was gathered around this edge. So that sort of cinched in the bottom, if that makes sense. Where's a pen? So if you picture the bag being like that, and then that's turned over and the cord goes through there. So that's sort of where we're heading with it. A running stitch is put around to pull it all in so that it fits around that base. That's the construction of it. But before we get to all that, we sort of don't need it at the moment. Like I said, if you buy a pack of fabric that Susanna's put together, you'll get this in there, which is the original pattern from years ago. Since then, she's had to play with it and come up with new ways of construction. Watch both videos. Watch the original and watch the latest one. So my plan is to utilise this panel. It's part of the French General panel that I picked up and used a portion of it on Henrik the Hare, and then scraps of it are going on to the Bunny panel from Easter. And then when I was putting together Bunny, I saw this and I'm like, here's Susanna's squares. So let me just, where's somewhere to draw? I need some paper that I can sketch on. So the theory behind it all, you're listening, I'll zoom in. If you watch Susanna's video, you'll get the general gist of it pretty quickly. So in Susanna's video, she gets you to cut strips of fabric, like so. Heaps of them. I think there's 12 in total. I think I wrote a measurement on here when we were chatting one day. Yeah. 3-inch strips by 12, and you do 12 of them. So let's pretend that's 12 inches by 3. I think that's right. Let me check. Where's the ruler? Because this piece here, yeah, 12. When she told me the measurements, I went, let me zoom back out. Let's bring up the speed. I went and tore myself a piece of calico. This is the finished size of the panel prior to joining it to the base and adding the drawstring and the little tunnel that you create up here to pull your cordage through to cinch it in. So I thought, well, I'll at least get it the size I want, and then when I finally get to make this video series, I've got it. But Susanna she got strips of fabric, she joined them all together, 12 of them, all 3 inches. Right, so let's assume that I've gone ahead and cut those pieces of fabric. Ta-da! Mine aren't 3 inches, but so mine's going to look different. That's just the way it's going to be. Mine are 2.5 inches. Susanna used 3. So mathematically, I'm sort of going to be doing my own thing, but that's all good. So let's pretend there's 12 of them. She creates a new piece of fabric, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right. So that's her new piece of fabric with all of the colours she selects. She then brings it back to her cutting board and slices it into 3-inch strips. Right. Can't remember how many she got. I'm guessing if it's 12 inches, divide that by 3. That's how many strips she's got. These new strips are little pieces of fabric, all different colours. All right, so now her brand new strip is this. And then she starts joining them back up with another stitch together seam, but make sure that none of the same fabrics meet. So she sort of twists them around and creates a brand new rectangle, which now is a patchwork of fabrics. Very clever. If you watch a series, you'll get this. I probably haven't drawn enough squares because mathematically I've tapped out, but you get the general gist. So she joins strips of her favourite fabrics together with her sewing machine. You could hand sew it, but strength, I'd probably whip out the sewing machine on this, but it's up to you. Then she cuts it. So now she's got these pieces of gorgeous fabric and rejoins it to create nearly a mini quilt. That mini quilt is this size here. Hence why I went and quickly tore this piece. Now, what is its length? I better tell you that. But it doesn't have to be this length, guys. You know what stitching's like. See, I'm not even 12 inches. I'm 11.35, but let's assume it's 12 inches. This is my base. This is my goal to get to having this rectangle ready to make it in. 32. I think in the video she's 36 or 34. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. As long as you're in the vicinity of 32 to 36. But mine is going to be 12 inches by 32. So if you want to follow along with me, I reckon that's the measurements you need to aim for. So we need to create a panel of fabrics patched worked together in whatever way you want. You might decide to weave them. See, that was a thought I had. What I mean by that is I was going, before I found this, oh, do I want to mess this up? Do I want to mess this up, guys? Once I untangle these, you know what's going to happen. But I'm just looking across my desk here. I don't have any strips of things. I've got rulers. Let's say, let's do that. I can't mess up those jelly rolls because once they go, let's say your strips of fabric you've created, and they're just like that, and you want to weave them to create your base, which was an idea that was tossing around in my head. So you cut them all like so. Then you come back through with another lot of fabrics that would go this way, and you weave them. And then once they're pinned on here, you then embellish it with stitch and laces and things like that. Let me grab my Japanese rice bag caddy, which is just sitting here, and I'm sure we did weaving on that. Did we do weaving on this? Yes, we did. Look, that is what I had in mind for the side of the bag. Oh gosh, I do love it. Maybe I still do that because I wove the fabrics, then I wove lace and ribbon in amongst it. Then I come back and stitched. Then I come back and added beads and I do love that. I had envisioned when I got this pattern from Susanna months ago. How do I then work this in? These could be patches, couldn't they? Maybe we do the weaving and maybe, see, my thought was to go to the sewing machine and stitch these into it. But now I'm thinking I don't want to do that. I'm going to weave these fabrics. And then these could be embellishments that go on it. Could they? What if they were needle turned, appliqued on, like little patches? I wonder what that would look like. Then I wouldn't need to use them all. See, if I cut this into strips and weave it in with the fabrics, I would lose some of them. And I don't want to do that. What if I added fabric like a calico to these so that when they disappeared underneath and popped up again, oh my goodness, that's work. Oh, seriously? You see what I'm thinking of doing? So I would cut this guy out, then cut a piece of calico, stitch that onto there so there's a blank spot, then add another one, blank spot, another one. So then I create a strip that can be woven into, oh, how would that work? Would that work? would work. I wouldn't, how can I make it easy? So I need to create a woven element. Yeah, I know what I can do. Let's just put the lid back on these. I do not need these yet. Good, I don't have to make a mess. I need to create something that can be used. Ah, they've just upended on the floor. Oh. Now there's jelly rolls escaping over the floor. Okay, let's get ourselves got an idea. How to make this weave in amongst the jelly rolls is the mission. Let's just get my base. My base is, do not go any bigger than this, Corrine. This is what the weaving is going to sit on when I start embroidering into it all and embellishing it with ribbon and lace and who knows what else. Whether I'll go to that extent, who knows. But do not go any bigger than 12 inches by 32 inches. Because as I was going to say, when this panel is created, whatever it is, you might decide to do patches of fabric and just slow stitch it. You might go down the Japanese Boro stitching style. Oh gosh, you could do anything. You could put flowers on here and thread paint it. The main thing is 12 inches by 32 inches. So rip yourself a base piece of fabric and that's your perimeter you work within. If you do Susanna's, you sort of start creating 12-inch strips. Mine, 12 inch by 3 inch. Mine are already created in that tin as a jelly roll. What I'm trying to do now is make this baby fit. So what I'm thinking, I'm just going to do it. Just cut it. Just cut it. So for those of you out there that picked this panel up, I think it's been around a little while. I think I've had it at least a year. Moda's always bringing out a stitchery panel. I know there was one prior to this that was pretty rare, and I didn't get it, and then this one popped up. I guess now that I'm cutting this to bits, now I can pick and choose, because some of them I don't like. Like, I'm not a fan of the star, and I'm not a fan of that, but I love that. So maybe the girl can be a bit picky. So we've got a couple options. We weave the base out of the fabrics, and then these are stitched on as little elements. I like this checker one. Or I create a piece, a strip that can be woven into it. Why are they not the same size? Like, seriously? Because I haven't trimmed it there. Probably should be doing this with the rotary cutter. Anyway, we'll work that out when it comes time. I've got some nice linen scrappy bits here. Pop them in my stash. Not a lover of those. 1, 2, 3, I love all those. So let's trim this out. So I guess I'm going to decide, am I going to create a brand new strip of fabric with these little fellas in it? Where do I cut that? Gosh, there'll be some hand sewing involved in this. They're all different sizes. Doesn't matter. Or do we make these little embellishments to go on top of it? We'll see. Let's cut this guy out. This will be one of those projects that the lines are already printed. Just follow the dotted line. It'll be great. Don't have to think. Like they're all different sizes. Look at that. Talk about challenging. You're probably sitting there going, well, she's destroyed that piece of fabric. No, I haven't. I've created morsels, guys. I need to cut that one up too, just to have a more. And then what I don't use, I'll just pop away, and you never know, there might be something in the future that requires an image like that. Love that one. I feel like they do need to be part of the weaving butt, not just sitting on the outside, because sitting on the outside, I'd like to weave fabrics, laces and ribbons. So I sort of think these need to be tucked in. I don't know. Who knows? See, if I cut straight there, I'm going to chop that circle. They are all over the place, wonky. I must have had to do that to get the designs to fit. See, look at that. If you were joining those two together, there's nothing there. Doesn't matter when you're weaving it all. Like, look at that one. He's different again. There you go. At first glance, looking at that panel, I thought they were all the same shape. Now I've really destroyed it. I've chopped it up. It's less daunting now. I was always looking at it going, what am I ever going to use that for? I'm sort of not wanting to sit and stitch it as a panel and then go, wow, that's done, and lose, 3 weeks of my life stitching a simple panel. Got to do something more exciting. So I guess before I bring in the whole add it to calico to create a strip, maybe I can just tuck them in so they look like they're woven and trim them to suit. Now that'd be clever. Hang on, let's put these precious little scraps of linen in the scrap bucket. Let's bring, there's a scrap. Let's put these in something before they get lost in the hang of a mess. There's my element. Where's my base? See, the plan was a minute ago is to tear some calico and attach a blank bit, but I don't think I need to. I think that's creating work. All right, let's pick up the jelly rolls that are now like on the floor. Maybe that was a sign. Just use me. Stop mucking around and just pull me out. So we got some neutrals. Let me zoom up a little bit because this is about to get messy. Got some great colours here. And I'm thinking I'm going to be brave and stay within the colour area more so than that, because I am pretty impressed with the colours that the shop has put together here. I would never have chosen that. So I'm going to rely on someone else's eye to create some beautiful, interesting combinations here. Gosh, it's about to get messy. So, weaving. Strips are ready to go. Nothing like a jelly roll. And it's just a case of laying some rows down. Let's put that mustardy one next to it because it just, why not? So, of course, Susanna created this when she finish the sentence. I'm getting caught up in fabrics here. When she put all of her pieces together, she built a panel which pretty much looked like this. You know, it'll be checkers. Time for a bit of blue. Oh, look at the letters on it. Oh, are you serious? How gorgeous. This is going to be pretty full on, this bag. So I'm coming down a little bit further than my base. Let's get the words right. My base. I'm coming a little bit further down because as fabrics weave and that, it'll pull in a little bit. So I don't want to, and I haven't cut them. I'm keeping them, you know, intact. Is there anything in here we need to pull out just to break things up a bit? I reckon that one. Oh, this jelly roll's just exploded on my desk. Oh my goodness. Doesn't matter. I remember when I did the Roxy Journal of Stitchery Christmas edition, I bought a jelly roll of Christmas fabrics at a tiny itty bitty shop in Melbourne I went to. And that jelly roll exploded. Here's a bit of it here. And it has just gone into so many projects. It did the Christmas project and there was a blue and it drifted into red. So it was great. It gave me 2 projects, a red Christmas and a blue Christmas. You guys will remember it, they've been with me for a while. And then this has popped up on so many things. It's in Village Life. It's, oh, I've lost count of how many times I've gone back to that jelly roll, and it started like that big. And now I've got a little bundle of the blue and a little bundle of the red. And it's, oh, they're not cheap to buy. They, you know, jelly rolls are up there. I need a grey or something, or let's be bold, girls. Don't be shy. That's very bold. Oh. What do we need next? What's the next one? A red. Let's just pull that jelly roll to bits. Let's just do it. I am not going to have enough space for what's going on here. So what I might do is I'm going to put a little pin up here just to anchor them down along the top there. Oh, I would never have thought to put the grey and the purple. Like, to me, that's logical. But then to add those in, whoa. Expand the girl's horizon. Oh, nothing like a good jelly roll. Gives you a lot of fabric and gives you morsels of a colour palette. They're just really cool. I think I need a light, oh, mustard. We haven't used the mustards. She's having fun now. Oh, look at that one. More letters, words with flowers. Oh, look at that. Oh, my excuse me. Now I'm choking because I didn't take in air. I hope I can line him up. Mustard, you're in. Look, even, let me push that. See, this little morsel will probably get cut off. How good is that little piece? Then a strip goes through and we should see that rose. So that's the plan there. So I'm 3/4 of the way. That's what's left to cover in fabric. Did I finish what I was doing? Let's get the rest of the jelly rolls up the top. Oh gosh, you should see the mess, guys. Let's keep, oh my goodness. Fabric has exploded. Can I cut them off? Yeah, I can. I'm just going to do it because they're like now pinned by a pile of fabric and they're pulling. They're pulling. We need to disconnect. We've done it. Be brave. I'm way above where I need to be. But I'd rather have that extra because, like I said, the fabrics will move around a little bit. I think I need to bring purple back in very, very soon. So I'm a little bit higher, but that's okay. Morsels, lots of morsels. They're pinned up there. So now I can shimmy that across. Just meeting. You need to be able to lift them up so you can run another fabric through. What did I say we wanted next? We want some purple. Where are the purples? Oh, look at you. What are the purples? Don't think too hard, girl. Just grab it. So where's that first cut into fabric that you're just nervous of? And then once you've done it, it's gun-ho, isn't it? I always find that. I need a lighter colour next. Let's get back into these. Look at that one. That sister to him is here on the end. So, oh, now I've created a mess. It's all good. Let's get this guy in next. You beautiful thing. Just a little pin there to keep a bit of law and order. Chop it. What do we need next? I don't know. Maybe a red. Where's the reds? Oh, see the mess, guys. Oh. So I've used that red. Here's a paisley. Let's be brave. Throw in a paisley. We're nearly to the end. Let's see how we go. Will we get 2 on? If you find that you're cutting your own strips and you've got, you know, a bit that's not covered, don't worry about it, just chop it off. You will not miss it. Susanna will be sitting there going, oh my goodness, that girl. I think we need a turquoisey colour next. See, a little bit. So I could either put a piece on or forget about it. We'll see. I don't know if I like that one. I like this one. This one. I think we'll add a piece because, like I said, from memory, Susanna's panel is either 36 inches or 34 inches and mine's 32. So I know we've got a bit of wriggle room there. Last one. What do we need? Probably a rusty tone next. Oh, look at the mess. Maybe that one. All right, we're over the edge, but that's all good. It's a cinched in bag, so, you know, it will still all come in. Okay, so now this is where the fun stuff. Look at my mess, guys. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's killing me. Oh my goodness. Let's go all the way back here. We've got a problem here. That wasn't pinned. That's not even on the edge. So if I move that over, would be a good thing. Look at this. That'll give me a little bit more fabric at the other end, but you know, it doesn't matter. I could fiddle around this forever. You guys will be here forever if I don't get a wriggle on. So let's get this little turquoise guy pinned on because he obviously missed being pinned. Oh, that is right. Look, now I've absorbed whatever it was that I had happening there. So the plan is to pick up another fabric Preferably one I haven't used. What I should have been doing is flicking them to the floor, which I might do. So I can't see this turquoise in the piece. And because it's a jelly roll, I've got a nice long length. So the plan is now to decide how this goes on. So we need to go right up to that edge and lay this guy back on. And because I just don't want to weave it as per weaving, you know, up, down, I'm going to keep an eye on my top edge, pop a pin in. I'm going to be clever girl and go over 2 because I can, and then tuck under this guy, carry on along, put this guy back over. So instead of doing up and over, just going to make sure that little turquoise guy is right on that top edge. Once you get that top row done, you're off and running. So now I've got to decide, do I want to see him next to him? Nope. So that means this little fellow comes up. That little guy who's the runner across the panel, he's going to disappear a little bit more. And this little red guy will come forward, making sure that that's all lined up. He can then lie down and we pin it. Now we want to see turquoise, or do we? I'm thinking we go under him. You don't want to make it too uniformed. Well, you can if you want. You can go up and over and let it be. But I want to, no, I do want that over there. If you do it Susanna's way, you can control where your layers fall by just the way you relay your strips you created. This one, you get to do the same thing. You can control where everything goes, but it's going to be more, so I want to see those flowers, so that has to be on top. I think anything exciting under there? No, let's bring that one forward. That's the sister fabric in purple to this guy. And to be honest, when the bag is sitting, you know, on your craft table being used, you are not really going to notice what is laid where and on top of what. Like, I'm probably overthinking it. It'll look gorgeous once everything starts getting scrappy and thready, and it's going to be really cool. I'm thinking I want that fabric there. I might end up adjusting this again. I'm just getting to the last panel, because when the next colour comes through, I don't think I'm going to bother with that guy at the end. I'm going to shorten it. So I've just taken off my 32 inches. I might regret it. Don't think I will. 1.5 inches. So we can always add it. This panel will be embroidered on and slow stitched on for some time before it eventually makes it into a bag, because there's the stitching down of all this, then there's the embellishing bits, and then anything else you want to add, like doilies and crocheted elements, and it becomes a collage. I might decide, which I'm not saying I will, I might decide to do a big flower treatment across it in some way. I don't know. So if I bring this to the camera a bit more, I've got to the end and I've removed, no, I'll put it back on, put it back on. That's it. She's gonna work. So I'm back. It's it's back to 32 inches, guys. Susanna will be like, oh my goodness. All right. Done. Alrighty, so there is our first row. So I'm going to leave that for now. No, I'm not going to chop it off. So I'm going to start going through and pulling out the ones that are finished, done. This fabric must not reappear, and popping them beside me. That's going to leave the ones that I can use. So that one there is over here, done. That one's not used, so it can stay. Not a fan of that colour, but anyway, it's staying for now. That's not used. Let's just stretch this out a little bit. You guys are not going to see the other end, but at least I can before I go on. That's not used. That's not used, but it is once. It's definitely got to go through again because I've only got the one stripe of grey, and it's the same print as that, so it needs to probably run maybe there. So there's really only one more to pick from, to be honest, I think. Love a bit more red in it. That's not going to be used. So maybe I don't have to curate this as much. I think I've got enough mustard. Turquoise, I've got enough turquoise. I think I need red, guys. That's used. Oh gosh, I've got a mess. That's used. That's used. That's used. That is enough. I've got enough blue, just don't need it. So it's leaving beiges. I don't want to use that. Maybe. I think I've got enough purple, but we'll just, don't want to use that because it's already in it. That's already in it. Gosh, I've got a mess. I think I've got enough of those orangey tones. Definitely enough paisleys. Maybe I just keep, have I got him? No. And he's better than that. Okay. There's another grey, but he's there, so that's all good. Here's a red. I haven't used you. So there's a grey, a red, and a mustard. Let's keep going. Maybe there's something better. Another red, don't need it. Here's all of these tones. I don't honestly think I'm going to go there with them. Oh, look at that one there. Let's just pull him out. Maybe that'll give me light that I need. It's very moody. That is already in. That don't need. Mustards don't need. Got both of those. Got the paisley. Don't need any more paisleys. All right, so prefer that grey than that grey, so that's gone. So we've now got a purple. I think I'm just going to forget about those. We've got these left. So looking at my piece, move the fabrics up, up. What do we need? I've got two purples. Let me bring it a little bit more into shot. I've got only one pale, this guy. So I think I need a bit of pale running through. So let's pretend that that's woven through there. I felt like I needed more red. Even though I've got two, I'm a red girl, and there's not much red up that end. It's very mustard and pale and turquoise. That's the end. So I think having a red go through up there is a good thing. So that's pretty much it. You know what I don't have in here? That, where's the end of the fabric? So that's it. I only need two. I didn't get this in, but that's okay, because that's where the second layer of weaving happens. See, when I did this guy, I did the base, then I came back through with other elements. So there's nothing stopping us. Is you come back through and we cut that in half, and then you start weaving again through. So I'm going to leave that grey to one side. I think I need more mustard. I definitely need a splash more purple. What was the other one I had there? Oh, there's a second purple. Yeah. I'm going to save those for maybe embellishing over the top. So I think I'm going to weave this guy next. So remember too, this is the top of the bag. This is, don't say that, Corrine, because you could turn the fabric up the other way and not even think about that thought again. So, but if you were thinking about that, and this is the top and this is your bottom layer of checkers are on the table when the bag is finished and sitting. So that's why Susanna, I think in her video, she used a panel through here that she won't even notice, because by the time that bends under and the little satchel sits, this slot here are actually on the table below. So you won't see them. So just something you could keep in mind if you've got a precious fabric and you're thinking, oh, I really want to see it. Well, don't put it at the bottom. Get it in the middle. And that's why I picked this guy up. I just feel like I need a bit of lightness to come through. Now, remembering all of those will be trimmed off. So that's the top. Once that's all trimmed. So, pepper. Now I've got to look at each little square. Do I like anything in there? Yeah, I do. I might. Pepper. I'm expecting a tradesman. But he's coming at midday. Can't be midday, surely. No. So I might bring, this is where it's fun. Don't overthink it, but like, I like that red. Like that. Don't want to lose the red. I like that. I like that. I like that to be out. That can go to there. I like that. See how keeping it random gives you options. Plus then it gives you a rectangle, you know, instead of just checkers. It's just different. I like that. Will we get this woven by the time this video comes to conclusion? 10 minutes? Yeah. I like that. I like that. I won't worry too much about the end down here because it's off the table and it's messy and it's all good. We'll just focus where you guys can see. So now we can do our red. Let's let the purple be. I like that flower. Red on red. We might bring that through. Oh, I love that together. like that, like this. So you could fiddle and fiddle with this. Oh my goodness, I think I'll keep him under there. Going to bring purple back up, and then we're out of camera shot, so don't worry about that end. I'll muck around with that. Let's just get a wriggle on, girl. Let's bring in this guy. Oh, do we be brave? No, I want this guy. You can always see colours that you're just not brave with, hey? That's gorgeous over here. So that's staying. That can stay on top. Oh, no, it can't because then the red's too long. Maybe this red guy has to go under. This is where you might have to jiggle a little bit. At least I did not have to cut strips. I haven't pulled the old rotary cutter out for some time. They're dangerous for people who aren't concentrating regularly. See, that's not right now. You go and adjust it. So now that's going to come up, I think. Yeah. I remember my first weaving, I think, was a prompt by Anne Brooks on the 52 tags. Then I did it again on the cover of a journal with the Roxy girls, right at the very beginning of their journey. Then I did it again here. So this weaving thing, I really like it. I really, really like it. I don't think I'll bring that up. I think that's fine. I'm not a lover of that, guys. Why is it just staring out at me? That's going through there. Maybe I have to back this down, but I love that. Maybe I've got to bring this guy up over him. See, the other thing, I think this needs to be extended too. Look, there's the edge of my base. So my bag is now going to be taller, but that's all right. I can fit more stuff in then, hey? So that was nearly 12 inches. By the time so what are these? Again, 2.5, 2.5. So they'll be there. So I'm extending about an inch and 1.5 inches. So the base was the base, and the base is now disappearing fast. I'm just going with what is going to be the panel once I've finished weaving all of these beauties. That's going to come up there. I want to see more purple. You know what, guys? I'm going to change that out and bring in a purple. If I did do the see, even that's a better. No, I'm sorry. I can't do it. Gone. I'm happy to play with purple because that's, you know, something different. How am I going to do this? I think I'll bring... Then I've got 3 purples because I only had the one grey. Yeah, see, I'm happy now. It's a real warm purple too. Right, happy. And I love all the flowers. So there you go. I've just edited out grey. It didn't last long. So I've got a hang of a mess down that other end. It hasn't really woven, but I'll deal with that once I get say goodbye to you guys. So the question is, another one through? Maybe I bring another purple through to really bring in that colour. Yeah, I think so. I need to give myself a little bit more fabric. That's why you cut them a little bit bigger. How are those little embroidery bits going to work on this is the next golden question. Now I can start anchoring down my perimeter, which is heaps of pins. And then I'll come through with my needle and thread and start quilting it. Got a couple options. You can quilt around the rectangle, quilt around the square. You can forget about all that and just do lines. Decisions. So this purple guy, how are we doing? Are you happy with that? Yes. But I think I want that up there. That is good. That up there. Doesn't really matter which is the best design. I love those berries, so I might leave it at the berries. We need the red up, and that red needs to shimmy down a little bit because we just don't have enough, I don't think. So let's just bring it down, lift that up, and that goes down. Love it. We want the text. Once again, that needs to shimmy down a little bit. There's a selvage there, so if I don't need it, I'll not use it. There's a pin in up here. She's not shimming. I'll have to go hunting for laces too, because the laces get woven over the top again. What do I like here? Probably that. See, I've got a bit of a thing happening here I don't necessarily like. So let's break that thing up. You see the stripes? Let's do that instead. And wear it to the side. I need to shimmy this guy down just to make sure we've got plenty fabric to the end of the base. That one there. Let's shimmy him a bit more. So what I'd recommend if you're doing this is do your first weave like I have, and then just let it sit for a bit. Look at it. Look at it randomly, and you might spot a pattern that you've created when you want it to be fairly random, like that pattern, that thing was happening. See, there's a double block here and a double block there. So maybe I've got to look at bringing this guy on top of this guy. That's what I mean by looking for something. Now I'm going to pull him down too. I'm starting, because that's the cut edge up there and these are all the selvage edges. What I'm going to do is just pull down each one so that when I trim the bottom here, I'm getting rid of selvages in the process, is what I'm saying. So my homework will be to get all of these strips down. What I might do before we go is we need to have a look at those little sampler French general elements and decide if they're in or out, or do they have potential, or do I just need to think about them a little bit more, or, you know, where are we going with them? Even though I've chopped them into a million pieces already. again, pull him down, that little paisley. Come on, move. Pull him down. All right. I'm just putting a few pins around that perimeter. I might even, you know, honestly invisible stitch this so that nothing moves, you know. I don't know. Don't know. Got some thinking to do. All right. That's pretty secure. I can trim that back to where I need to. Selvages are out of the way on this bottom edge, so that'll finish up just along that edge. I'll trim that little guy back and that'll be the finish of my panel. Right, that end I'll deal with when I'm ready because you guys can't see it. It's quite a big piece. Let's have a look at these. What are we going to do with them? For a start, they're not the right size to be woven through. So that is out. Do we stitch them and then use them as patches? You know, just randomly? Be a great way to use them. And pick out my favourites. And then layer them over the top as my embellishments. I'm thinking along that lines. And then maybe I can, you know, overcast stitch them on. Oh, I like that one. Now remember, this gets folded under to create and stitch to create a tunnel for a cord to go through. So you probably wouldn't want some of your delicate embroidery there. Having said that, if you're adding elements like crocheted doilies and things and say a doily cut in half, by all means whack it over there, which is what Susanna has done because it's an edge of something. Definitely. But being these little embroideries, I think I'm going to make sure I stay. I don't like that one. There are better ones in there. That guy. I'm going to keep all of these little guys through the belly of the bag. Because remember this row, by the time that you run, let me get this in, this edge here has a running stitch put through. You cinch it all in and then stitch it around the circle that goes on the bottom. So these, then this whole row disappears under, this is the panel you see, and a bit of this is tucked in under where the cord goes. So decoratively, really, that's your space you're going to see when it's sitting on your table and you're rummaging through getting your treasures out. So it's nearly the size of, yeah, when it's finished. So I think that taken into account, these little guys would just be little elements added at the very end to enhance, you know, to have something to put on it, so to speak. So that's good. Let's pop them out of the way so they're nice and safe. So my next thing I'm going to do, oh gosh, it's after the hour, like these videos, I tell you, is to get all of this stitched down so it becomes one piece of fabric. So a bit of invisible stitch, running stitch. If I'm doing the running stitch, it'll be a case of grab a cotton I like, probably go for something a little bit antique-y, more than that, go for that. If I was brave, I could do reds and turquoises and purples, but I don't think I am. I think I'm going to just use that because that's safe. And I just need to decide, am I going to stitch around that rectangle? Am I going to stitch through the whole thing? Am I going to stitch the rectangle in lots of lines, and then I get to this rectangle and do lots of lines? That one, lots of lines. So I'm quilting then each square in a direction of its own. Well, I like that idea. That would really make this piece of fabric come together, because if I just whiz around that outside edge, there's air there, where if I do running stitch through that whole thing, and then here I do this, or there, you know, oh, I think I'm going to do that, guys. Oh, so much work. All right, we have a plan. I'm going to use this antique. We're going to make it feel like a piece of quilt. Then the embellishments that go on top we'll review again once I get this all stitched. Yeah. And for my own sanity, I'm going to invisible stitch this first. I'm just going to use my cotton, go through and invisible stitch it all down, so then it's just a flexible, non-moving too much piece of fabric, and then I'll start coming in with this. There's a project ready to go. Just a shame I didn't have a bag to put it in. All right, I think we've got a plan, guys. Thank you for joining me, and yeah, I'm glad I got rid of that grey. Just didn't work. Just didn't work. All right, folks. I'm going to leave you in peace. Have a great day. I'll see you around. Down below will be the videos where Susanna makes the bag twice. And also go across to a shop. If you love Susanna's colour palette, she'll have packs over there that you can use. If you aren't in Australia and freight's an issue, which it always is, look, just go to your stash and you'll find something. Maybe there's a jelly roll like I had and it's burning a hole in the cupboard and you want to, you know, break it open. But be warned, that's what happens. How am I going to get that back in there? Oh, my lordy. I'm going to have to do that next before I start anything, because that's just got to be sorted. All right, guys. There's hundreds of projects in that. It's just such a great colour palette for me. We'll be nibbling into that for the next 2 years, I'd say. Gosh, imagine just a project done out of the purples. And anyway, stop. Okay, see you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Hi, guys, I'm back. Remember I said let your panel sit and then you come back and look at it, walk away, come back. I just left the room, came back to pick it up, and I'd noticed that the writing is upside down. It's probably not a big issue because I could have just turned the panel. But if I liked the aesthetics of this piece, I would now have the opportunity of sliding that little guy out and back in with the writing up the right way. So there you go. That's a classic case of walk away from your piece, and you might just notice that the writing is upside down. But I'm pretty confident that all the flowers that I dealt with there, I made them look at me, like that little guy. Where is he? Down here. See that little guy? I made him look at me. He's looking at me. He's good. He's good. The writing was upside down. So for those of you who are watching and going, Corrine, the panel is teal with the writings upside down. I got it. I got it. I saw it. And if you didn't see it, well, then you're just like me. You're in the wash of colour, just going with it. There we go. All right, I'm happy now. All right, I'm going to leave you. Bye.